Hare Krishna everyone, welcome back to Shravanam Diaries podcast. I'm your host Sulalita Devidasi and we are continuing to read Dialectic, Spiriualism, Vedic View on Western Philosophy by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And this is chapter 6 entitled Thomas Aquinas. We're reading in the middle of it. Yes, this book is also published as Beyond Illusion and Doubt nowadays. So let's start. Disciple. Concerning the state, Aquinas, like Plato, believed in an enlightened monarchy. But in certain cases he felt it is not necessary for man to obey human laws if they are opposed to human welfare and are instruments of violence. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, first of all, we must know what our welfare is. Unfortunately, as materialistic education advances, we are missing the aim of life. Life's aim is declared openly in the Vedanta Sutra. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Life is meant for understanding the absolute truth. Vedic civilization is based on this principle, but modern civilization has deviated and is devoting itself to that which cannot possibly relieve us from the tribulations of birth, old age, disease, and death. So-called scientific advancement has not solved life's real problems. Although we are eternal, we are presently subjected to birth and death. In this age of quarrel, Kali Yuga, people are slow to learn about self-realization. People create their own way of life and they are unfortunate and disturbed. Disciple. Aquinas concludes that if the laws of God and man conflict, we should obey the laws of God. Srila Prabhupada. Yes. We can also obey the man who obeys the laws of God. It is useless to obey an imperfect person. This is the blind following the blind. If the leader does not follow the instructions of the supreme controller, he is necessarily blind and he cannot lead. Haribol! Wow! This just sounds so beautiful. I love this. Why should we risk our lives by following blind men who believe that they are knowledgeable but are not? We should instead decide to take lessons from the Supreme Person, Krishna, who knows everything perfectly. Krishna knows past, present, and future, and what is for our benefit. Disciple. For Aquinas, all earthly powers exist only by God's permission. Since the Church is God's emissary on earth, the Church should control secular power as well. He felt that secular rulers should remain subservient to the Church, which should be able to excommunicate a monarch and dethrone him. Srila Prabhupada. World activities should be regulated so that God is the ultimate goal of understanding. Although the Church or the Brahmanas may not directly carry out administrative activities, the government should function under their supervision and instructions. That is the Vedic system. The administrators, the Kshatriyas, used to take instructions from the Brahmanas, who could deliver spiritual message. It is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita 4.1 that millions of years ago, Krishna instructed the sun god in the yoga of the Bhagavad Gita. The sun god is the origin of the Kshatriyas. If the king follows the instructions of the Vedas or other scriptures through the Brahmanas or through a Bonafide church, he is not only a king but a saintly person as well. Rajarshi. The Kshatriyas should follow the orders of the Brahmanas, and the Vaishyas should follow the orders of the Kshatriyas. The Shudras should follow the instructions of the three superior orders. Disciple. Concerning the beauty of God, Aquinas writes, God is beautiful in himself, and not in relation to some limited terminus. It is clear that the beauty of all things is derived from the divine beauty. God wishes to multiply his own beauty as far as possible, that is to say, by the communication of his likeness. Indeed, all things are made in order to imitate divine beauty in some fashion. Unquote. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, God is the reservoir of all knowledge, beauty, strength, fame, renunciation, and wealth. God is the reservoir of everything, and therefore whatever we see that is beautiful emanates from a very minute part of God's beauty. This Krishna declares in the Bhagavad Gita 10.41. Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam shrimadurjitam eva va tad tad eva vagachatvam mama tejom shasambhavam. Quote, know that all opulent, beautiful and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Unquote. I love this verse very much. Disciple. Concerning the relationship between theology and philosophy, Aquinas writes, quote, as sacred doctrine is based on the light of faith, so is philosophy founded on the natural light of reason. If any point among the statements of the philosophers is found contrary to faith, this is not philosophy, but rather an abuse of philosophy resulting from a defect in reasoning. Unquote. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, that is correct. Due to material, conditioned life, every man is defective. The philosophy of defective people cannot help society. Perfect philosophy comes from one who is in contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and such philosophy is beneficial. Speculative philosophers base their beliefs on imagination. Disciple. Aquinas concluded that divine revelation is absolutely necessary because very few men can arrive at the truth through the philosophical method. It is a path full of errors, and the journey takes a long time. Srila Prabhupada: yes, that is a fact. We should directly contact the Supreme Person, Krishna, who has complete knowledge. We should understand His instructions and follow them, and try to follow them. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, interestingly, you see, Srila Prabhupada agreed with most of the points of Saint Aquinas, Thomas Aquinas, and previously he was not correcting, but he was explaining how some of the points were not according to the Vedic version, but today we've read most of the things were correct and were the same. So this really proves how faith, sincerity, and service to the Lord, basically we're all in one boat. It's just that, just like Prabhupada said, and just like Thomas Aquinas said, if you have perfect knowledge, that means it's coming from the perfect source, which is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is perfect. And imaginative, concocted, speculated knowledge is neither actual nor truthful. It's neither beneficial nor helpful. So this is something very important to take from today's reading. Yes, thank you so much for tuning in today. The link to this book is in the description. Please check out our website, shravanamdiaries.com, where you can find the book catalog, episodes, timeline. You can read this book along with us, share it with your friends. Hare Krishna. See you tomorrow.